That's 1000, spin it, that's 1000, that is, that's 1000, spin it, that's 1000, that is. going up to 1200 in a minute anyway. Should be going for 1200 in a minute anyway. Spin actually, that's 1200 spin, 1200 that is, 1200 spin. spin out, it's 400, that is 400 spin. Well, I just realised I just put the machine on spin cycle, but by the way though, but this machine never does anti-crease on this cycle. I think because on the colours 40, it just never does. I think it never does anti-crease anyway. Yeah, but I think because the Hoover VisionDynamic, it just never does anti-crease anyway, because it never ever does anti-crease anyway. At the end of spinning, it just never does anti-crease anyway. Never ever does that anyway. It never ever does anti-crease anyway. But my DYN9144D3X does anti-crease anyway, but some of the machines don't. But some of the Hoover and Candy do anti-crease anyway, but at the end of spin. But sometimes it can do an anti-crease, but sometimes it can, and sometimes it can't be there anyway. But well, I realised the Hoover VH3680C it's just on top of the machine now, as you can see, because the new kitchen is going to be fitted. There's going to be, because the old kitchen thing is took out, you say, because the old kitchen's things just took out anyway. So yeah, so unfortunately that's why it's turned into year tertium or something like that. That's why it's turned into year tertium now. That's why it's turned into year tertium anyway. But yeah, the dryer's on top, you see though. The Hoover fender system VH3680C, that's now on top, you see. I might be able to film that one later on, I suppose. I might be able to film that Hoover dryer later on, hopefully. But you see here, it's on top of the washing machine now. But the Hoover dryer is on top of the the Hoover fender system is on top of the washing machine now. It's on top of the washing machine, mate. It's on top, by the way, because I think my aunties and my uncles have just moved that dryer anyway. So yeah, that's why the company moved that dryer anyway. So yeah. That's why the company moved that dryer anyway. So yeah. Just gonna wait for this machine to unlock for a minute anyway. Well, that's a load of towels you see there. It is all finely spin though. It's all finely spin though, but it's the first time I ever used the 300 spin. Anyway. So anyway, I might be able to do some more washing with the Hoover soon, obviously. Anyway, so yeah, I did manage to put on spin cycle anyway. So yep. So anyway, so keep it supreme and go with the hopping lover.